Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the most consistent, the most prolific, and the most dedicated uploads in YouTube history. This is Sean's View Entertainment right here on YouTube.com. Make sure to like this video and subscribe with a major update as it concerns time limits, disqualifications, and countouts in the WWE. Interesting feedback from a past podcast regarding why WWE don't utilize time limits or draws from time to time on a more consistent basis. There is a strong feeling that a competitive match with an added sense of urgency because of a time limit is much more appealing and intriguing than a flaccid disqualification or a lame countout. So while there is no confirmation 100% sure that the WWE is willing to once go again in the direction of, time limits on certain matches in certain predicaments, it's interesting to note that it's been brought up. Well, back in the day, you used to go Broadway, used to go to an hour draw. Ric Flair was synonymous with doing something like that. Back in the day, World Championship matches had time limits on them, and that really set the pace for what you were going to witness. Before the Iron Man match, there was 60-minute time limits where the superstars, the wrestlers, the athletes in that ring would fulfill that 1 hour time limit, and they would wrestle to the bell ring where there would be no definitive winner because that match would end due to a time limit. The bell would ring, we wouldn't see a submission, we would not see a count out, we would not see disqualification. Hell, we wouldn't even see a pinfall, and that would make for good storytelling, because that would mean that would up the ante. What would be the next chapter? What would be the next choice? If you went one full hour and you were not able to get a pinfall in, what would be the next thing? Well, maybe a steel cage match, maybe a one-on-one match, maybe a match there where there were no time limits. The time limits often saved the champion, because if the champion didn't have to pin the other guy, the challenger needed to pin the champion, and that's what you had to do in that allotted time period. Now, like I said, Ric Flair and many other world champions were synonymous for this. Now, this was even an added ingredient in the United States Championship picture back in the old days, back in WCW, back in WCCW, ECW, the Television Championship. Many different championships had time limits on them, but yes, that is, a lost art nowadays. The time limit is not something you see. You see more countouts, and you see more disqualifications, and today, I think the referees are too easy to call for a disqualification. In my estimation, I would be in favor of time limits coming back to the WWE, because at least that gives a reason for a rematch, because we all know how the WWE just gives us these rematches out of nowhere for no reason. There's no hint, there's no rhyme or reason behind it. They just say, oh, here's the rematch again. Here's the rubber match without no meaning behind it. At least now, if there's a time limit to the match, say it goes 30 minutes or it goes 45 minutes. But the thing is, with 3 hours of television on Monday Night Raw, it would still be few and far between where you see matches that are going to go 30 minutes or an hour. It's more of a chance that we'll see matches go 30 minutes. There are some matches on Raw that do go 30 or 35 minutes. Sometimes it goes over TV time limit, but we don't see a draw because we do see a winner in that time frame. But back in the day, time limit draws were synonymous with professional wrestling. And like I said, that is a lost art nowadays. So your comments and your opinions, and would you like to see time limits brought back to the WWE, or are you happy with countouts and disqualifications? Or would you just let it just go all the way full throttle, no countouts, no disqualifications, no time limits, just go all the way, go hardcore? Subscribe.